any of the other millennial girlies having their midlife rebrand era yet, or is it just me? Side note, I've decided that the millennials are not having midlife crises. We're going to have rebrands. And I think I'm deep in the throes of mine, and it felt like an appropriate time as a result to sit down, have a conversation with you guys about so many things that have been on my mind. How I feel like I'm going to kind of be breaking up with big beauty. I want to talk about the future of my channel. I want to talk about where I am as a person. I want to talk about so many things. I feel like a lot of what I've been dealing with this summer really opened my eyes to some of the mistakes I've been making. And one mistake in particular that I cannot continue to replicate is my continuation in the beauty industry. For those of you who don't know, I started my social media career when I was a professional makeup artist. I did that for several years. I stopped doing it and went full-time in social media in 2018. I have struggled with it ever since. There is just something about beauty content that no matter how much I try, I cannot enjoy the process of making it. It's so boring to me. It's so much bigger than it just being boring. It's also getting harder to want to stay invested in the beauty industry as I'm getting older. Not only because as you get older, your priorities shift and change. I mean, I'm at a point in my life right now where I don't even wear a fake tan. I don't even have my nails done. Like, I am getting very relaxed around beauty because I don't have the patience for it anymore the way I used to. I don't have the interest in it. It's not even really practical for my real life anymore the way it once was. And I find that when I work in the beauty space or when I try to make my job about beauty, I feel the need to kind of conform into this kind of beauty focused person that I'm not actually that person in real life. So I end up in this place where no matter what I'm doing throughout the day, I feel like I should be doing something else. Like, I don't feel in alignment at all. This year, I've made so much content that you guys haven't seen. Like, just because I haven't been posting doesn't mean I haven't been working. The problem is every time I make something, I hate it. I either don't like the way the tech setup is, I either don't like the subject I'm talking about, I'm bored watching the video back, so I know you guys would be bored watching it. You know, I haven't been enjoying the process of making the content at all. And I think it's because, again, it's so far out of alignment for me. I'm just having a hard time learning this lesson for some reason. I've learned it so many times since I've been in the beauty space online. What I don't want to come across as is someone who doesn't find value in beauty to begin with. And I'm also not someone who has a problem with like pretty privilege. I have a problem with capitalism. Like, I'm just not that person. My perspectives on this don't come from some weird kind of like, we need to have a bigger discussion thing. It's more practicality thing at this point. I mean, like I said, even down to coming back to work and working in beauty and having a hard time with it and being bored with it and this, that, and the third. I also found myself getting ready to hop on a new kind of hamster wheel that I don't know that I really want to get on. And what I mean is, when you work in the beauty industry, especially like this, if you are the canvas for the product versus someone, I truly believe this. I think if you're in the beauty industry and like you get to make money off of the way that you make other people beautiful, I think that's a million times more fun and, in my opinion at least, a lot more fun, a lot more rewarding than sitting around all day and being like, well, this bronzer is bronzier than this bronzer. You know what I mean? But anyway, I digress. I've had all these mental blocks around the content creation. And then as I'm sitting back and watching all this content that I'm editing, that I end up hating, that I end up scrapping, I'm noticing in these videos that over and over and over again, I'm commenting about how old I look. Like, there's like a million times of video, specifically if I'm doing makeup tutorial type videos, where I will talk ad nauseum about how bad I need Botox and how my eyes are getting droopier and oh my gosh, I have wrinkles now. I say it over and over and over and over again. And as I'm sitting there listening to myself talk about myself that way, it made me realize how unrealistic it is for me to participate in the beauty vertical the way that I have been, because I don't want to become obsessed with anti-aging. I think there's a part of me that can get excited about the idea of it and can get really interested in the power and the transformation of it. But when it comes down to kind of all the stuff you have to do, you know what I mean? I'm putting this in air quotes, the stuff you have to do to stay young and beautiful, the sky's the limit. It's really all about how far you're willing to go. And I just feel like if I continue to make my career about beauty, I will end up taking it too far and not even going in that direction from a good place. I think that most of the stuff about my appearance, whether it's something about my body or my face I just don't like inherently, or if it's things that are changing because of age, they're not things I spend much of my time thinking about when I'm not making content. Because when I'm making content, again, I'm like the thing. I find myself picking myself apart. I find myself like wanting to get more work done. But in real life, in my everyday, it's just not something I'm thinking about. Probably because I'm not sitting and staring at myself as much as I have to make beauty content. There was a time in my life when I was willing and interested and excited about the idea of the pursuit of beauty, as it were, because that in and of itself can be a bit of a Sisyphean task depending on how healthy or unhealthy your relationship to your appearance is. But I don't know that I can find any logic in trying to get really caught up in the anti-aging of it all. At least outside of a very small amount of things I'm willing to do. I think moving forward with beauty, my relationship with it is going to be a lot more holistic. It's already been a little bit more wellness focused, and I think my content over the past, year kind of reflects that as well. I think I even want to go a little harder in that direction, and I even want to have a lot more intention around the products that I buy. The relationship that I have to beauty and aging as a whole should be getting better, not worse. And I feel like the more time I spend working in it, it's not happening that way. It's getting much, much worse. And I just don't have the mental energy or patience for it at this point anymore. I just have so many other things I'm interested in and excited about. I came back to YouTube early 2024 after my son was born, and I was really interested in glowing up and all that good stuff. But I have a limit with that. I think I get what people call glow up fatigue. There's kind of a point physically where I like to be, kind of like a self-image I like to have, or an amount of energy I'm willing to put into beauty, but I'm not willing to put enough in long term. Like when I first came back to YouTube, I was very interested in beauty, really excited about it because I was trying to get myself back together. It kind of tends to go that way. But once I felt like I achieved my goal in that arena, the interest in it just fell completely off a cliff. I've even considered kind of pivoting the conversation around beauty on my channel and talking a lot about nostalgia with beauty. You know, my particular thing that I was really focused on was potentially doing stuff like, I had a video idea where I just wanted to sit and talk about the Maybelline magazine ads from the early 2000s and late 90s, because Maybelline was just killing it back then. And I just thought it would be really fun and interesting. And I had tons of ideas like that, tons of ideas for content around kind of retrospectives around beauty that I thought would do well and I thought could be fun to create and to develop a conversation online about. And I plugged away at that content, man, for like 6 weeks. Like I worked really hard on it. I couldn't get it up for this content no matter how hard I tried. You know, after spending as much time as I did working on that content and preparing to post it and realizing again how much time I've wasted, I was like, enough is enough. Like I don't need to learn this lesson anymore. This is kind of where the midlife crisis / midlife rebrand thing comes in here. I would say when I was about 33, 34, I thought I just knew everything. I knew who I was. I knew what I wanted. I knew where I was going. You couldn't tell me nothing. I do not even recognize the person that I was in my early 30s versus who I am as a woman turning 40 in a few months. And I think I've almost been running from the change. Have you guys ever noticed things about yourself that you really thought were in your marrow? They just made up who you were. It was like what made you unique, I guess. And then suddenly you don't care about those things anymore. So maybe you find yourself thinking like, A, who am I without these things? And B, do I just let those things go? Almost to the degree where it's like there's certain things that I want to let go and out of my life, but then there's this other side of my brain that will tell me, oh, if you let it go, it's the same thing as giving up. Does that make sense? I think that's the sunk cost fallacy in action right there. But that's kind of how it's been with beauty in me for many, many years. I've invested so much time and energy, and I cared about it so much at one point in my life, and oftentimes have fallen back in love with it to the degree that I will think, oh yeah, this is what I'm meant to do. I should be doing it. But I can't. I just can't maintain the interest. I remember many years ago when I first got into therapy, my therapist was explaining certain things about my personality that I thought were just my personality. This is just who I am as a person. She's explaining to me that the majority of these things are just cope. They're soothing mechanisms, they're self-defense mechanisms. They're not actually who I am as a person. And even though I'm in therapy because I'm not happy either with my life or who I am as a person, even though I know something's wrong and I'm there to deal with the thing that's wrong. The idea that I would not be the way I used to be was kind of scary because I didn't know who I would actually end up as on the other side of all that once I healed. That's kind of a weird part about like the healing journey. You go through like birth and death and rebirth a few times within it. And no matter how many times I've needed to learn this lesson of, I think the lesson really more than anything is a lesson of alignment, just getting in alignment with what I actually want and walking the path, even though I can't predict the outcome, even though I have raging imposter syndrome about it, even though I don't know if anybody's going to watch it, I have to do it anyway. You know what I mean? These are all the things that have stopped me from leaving the beauty community full stop since I've been on the internet. And it goes back to what I said before, you know, it's been kind of a debate within myself of, is this me getting older? Is this me giving up? Who am I if I don't like this? And the truth is, when I'm not doing beauty stuff or even thinking about beauty stuff, I'm just way happier in life. All that leads to the next point, which is there's a huge rebrand coming, y'all, and I'm really excited about it. I don't know how many of you guys are going to be down to clown. The first few videos coming up in the rebrand will be kind of meditations and thoughts I have on the things that I want to focus on with my content moving forward. So you will see kind of my train of thought. I don't think it's just me. I think a lot of the stuff I'm interested in now is like culturally been a big shift for people. There's also a lot of big changes coming in my life, God willing, things that are going to require a lot of my attention. And I'm not going to be able to devote myself to work if I can't marry these things together. If I can't share with you guys what I'm really doing and what I'm really learning and I'm really interested in, I'm never going to be able to create content. I want to talk to you guys and start making content about home related stuff, wellness related stuff, holistic stuff. The great big vision I have, like the dream I have for my life, is to start doing food content almost full time. I really would like to share with you guys things like home decor, home management systems, planning, organization, all that stuff is what I'm actually doing offline all the time because I'm a mom and I have kids and a husband and dogs, and that's what I'm doing a lot of the time. And I actually enjoy doing that stuff is the weird thing about it. Like, it's not annoying for me to cook or meal plan or clean or decorate or do anything creative, really. I love anything I get to do with my hands. It's so meditative and interesting to me. That's why, a big reason why sitting and doing like research videos on Maybelline ad campaigns was making me just feel insane. I couldn't do it. It's like, I can't sit still like that. It's not good for my brain. I know I need to get off this tangent, but every time I think about this rebrand and the pivot I would like to take on social media, every time I think about what I'm giving up to do it, it's like, oh, I'm sure this is the right move because there's so many things about what I was doing before that just, I can't go back. I won't. I would really like to do a lot more food content. I love to cook. I've gotten really good at it the past, I would say 5 years, but I've been cooking for my family every single day for almost like 15 years or something, like actually getting good at it, mise en place and all those things. I would love to do more of that. I would love to teach millennial women or women in Gen Z, just love to share with women in particular the joy of cooking, especially because I think if you're a makeup girly, like if you found yourself on the beauty community side of the internet and you really loved it, I promise you, cooking activates the same part of your brain that like makeup does. I think that's why I'm good at it and why I enjoy it so much. But there are bigger things coming in the future that I can't really talk much about right now. I can't get into it. What I will say is the big goal would eventually be to be able to do home and food content full time. I would love for a lot of the food that I make in my content to be food I either grew or raised. It gives you an idea of what I'm hoping is going to happen in my near future. I want to get more into creating over consumption. I just think the beauty community and the beauty industry in general, even though I am a capitalist, I can't say that enough. I do acknowledge that with all things, one must have a healthy relationship with it, and one must recognize when they could potentially be signing up to be doing something with their life that kind of automates behaviors they don't necessarily want to align with. And for me, it's overconsumption, but not even just overconsumption itself. It's more consumption in place of creation that I have a problem with at this point, and that I would really like to highlight as a missed opportunity. I have so many thoughts on this, you guys. Like I said, in the coming content, you'll see more and more the vision for what I want the rebrand to be. But ultimately, what I want is to create a place online for women to go to. I want something for us to bond over. I love talking to my girlfriends about like their garden and the recipes they're trying. And I'm obsessed with Martha Stewart. I just bought a bunch of her books off Thrift Books, and I've been reading through and trying to get all the tips. And I talk to my friends about it. It's where my mind is. I mean, my sons too. I think that happens. You get real nesty and domestic when you have small kids. This is just where I am, and I'm very passionate about it and very excited about it. And my goal is to create a space online for me to find women like that, to give us a place to just connect and have fun. And I want it to be really lighthearted and exciting. I want it to be positive. I have a whole vision. There's so much of this. You know how I told you guys I've been making all this content that was never seeing the light of day? This content that I've been making behind the scenes since I decided to go with this rebrand are things I've had so much fun making. I don't even care if they do well. I've actually enjoyed making content again. This summer has been one of those times where all the things that I want to be in alignment with, it really got crystal clear for me this summer. I mean, it already was, but it just felt like God was showing me so many signs and so many opportunities to kind of get real with myself and go down this path I've been wanting to go down for so long. Stop being such chicken shit about it. I mean, I went home to go visit my grandparents, who I haven't seen in many years. Even when I lived in Georgia, I did not make enough time to go be with them the way that I should have. And as I'm there visiting with them a couple months ago, having the time of my life, looking at my grandmother's beautiful house, which was just like this magical place. I loved growing up. So I noticed, I think my grandmother is the single most influential woman on planet Earth to me. Everybody's like, Taylor Swift, Beyonce. It is my grandmother, 100%. As I'm sitting there spending time with her over the summer and reflecting on how much I should have been doing this in the years prior, I couldn't help but be like, why wasn't I hanging out more with my grandmother? And I couldn't tell you why. I couldn't tell you what was so important that I couldn't spend more time with my grandmother instead. I can't explain it. My values have just completely shifted. And I'm so much more clear about what really matters to me now. And it's things like spending time with my grandparents and reflecting on the time I wasted not being closer with them. That just, like I said, it's all the signs, these deep signals from within me that are telling me to get back on alignment and stop living the way I've been living just because I'm used to it. My oldest dog, Lillian Monroe, passed away last week. It's been a week as of today. I know she's just a dog, but I've had her since she was a puppy. She's been our dog for 13 years, and it went by, her whole life went by in a flash. And I think about all the stuff that I did instead of being with her, and I think about how quick that time went and like, what did I do with it? I mean, I've done a lot of things with my life. Don't get me wrong. I've done a lot of things with my life that I'm very proud of, and I will always be proud of them, even if they're not things I want to do anymore. But it's been a long time since I've done something I'm proud of. Do you know what I mean? It's been a long time since I've done something new to be proud of, and something that I feel is more in alignment with the things I want out of life anyway. I honestly think there's just a lot of things happening to me all at once right now. I think that it's getting older. I think it's having a young child. Having a young child when you're getting older, that's an odd combination of things. My oldest child is like 20. That's putting me through a lot of emotions and feelings, and you see things and people come and go in your life enough times at some point that you just kind of feel like it's time to start doing the things you really want to do. I think I am actually describing a midlife crisis as I go on. My midlife crisis is not going to involve some college boy in a sports car. It's going to be like having chickens and learning how to make jam. That's where this is going. I'm just letting you know, and I hope you guys are down to clown. I love all that kind of stuff. I want to share all the things I'm learning with you guys. I want to eventually pivot a little bit into helping you guys make money on social media if that's something that you're interested in. Like, I want to talk to you guys about the stuff I'm actually learning about, things I'm actually doing and having fun doing. And that's more my goal than anything. And of course, I would love to hear down below. If you guys have any suggestions or things you would like to see a little bit more of. I promise you I'm not going to leave the beauty conversation completely. I mean, hello, look at me. It's not going away completely. I'll put it to you this way. I would rather be the hot girl who makes food content than a professional hot girl. And being in the beauty community, that's what it requires of you. I do not want to be a professional hot girl. I'm like too pretty to be considered brave, and I'm too ugly to get paid well for it. You know what I mean? It just kind of goes to show you that even when you get to be almost 40, you can consistently surprise yourself if you try hard enough. If you really try to get out of your comfort zones and learn new things and learn your lessons and kind of accept the parts of you that for a long time maybe you were suppressing. Again, it goes back to the whole cope thing I was talking about. All these parts of my personality and things I was interested in that I wouldn't give a lot of attention to because I had a lot of judgment about them. Do you know what I mean? It's like they say when you get to be in your 40s, especially, that's when like the I don't give a switch flips. And I think this is like what the next chapter of my life is going to look like in that respect. All right, guys, I think that's all I have for you today. Definitely let me know down below how your summer has been. Let me know if there's anything in particular you would love to see in the home category. So that's food, decor, DIY, gardening, home organization, planning, anything in that arena. Dinner parties. Oh, can we talk about dinner parties are having such a moment right now. Nancy Myers, the whole thing. It's giving me life. I gotta get out of here. I hope you guys are having an amazing day, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.